In the grim darkness of the far future, where war and strife consume entire civilizations, survival hinges on power, control, and the ability to wield secrets like a weapon. Among the labyrinthine organizations of the Imperium of Man, none are as enigmatic, feared, or misunderstood as the Officio Assassinorum. Their very name inspires a mix of awe and terror, evoking whispers of shadowy figures who strike from the darkness, eliminating threats to the Imperium with surgical precision. These operatives are the ultimate instruments of death, carrying out missions that demand not only skill and precision, but an unparalleled dedication to secrecy. The Officio Assassinorum is no ordinary institution. It is a construct of layers upon layers of clandestine operations, designed to keep its existence veiled even from many within the Imperium. While other branches of the Adeptus Terra operate under varying degrees of transparency, the Assassinorum thrives in the shadows, ensuring that its deeds and methods remain hidden from all but a select few. But why does this secrecy persist, even in a universe accustomed to mystery and fear? To answer this question, one must delve into the very foundation of the Imperium itself, exploring the delicate balance of power, trust, and control that defines its existence. The roots of the Officio Assassinorum are entangled with the Imperium's tumultuous history. Established during the early days of the Great Crusade, its creation was born out of necessity, a tool to neutralize internal threats that could not be confronted openly. Over time, as the galaxy fell into chaos following the Horus Heresy, the Assassinorum evolved into an indispensable safeguard against treachery, rebellion, and heresy. Yet, it was not only the heretics and traitors who feared its blade. Even loyal servants of the Emperor understood that the Assassinorum's gaze could turn upon them should they stray from the Imperium's path. This reputation for absolute authority and unwavering discretion comes at a cost. To maintain its effectiveness, the Officio Assassinorum has embraced secrecy not merely as a tactic, but as an identity. It operates under the principle that the unknown is as powerful a weapon as any neural disruptor or venom-laced blade. An enemy that cannot understand or predict the Assassinorum's methods is an enemy that can be destroyed with ease. But this cloak of mystery is also a defense mechanism, a barrier that shields the Imperium's fragile psyche from the horrifying truths about the Assassinorum's work. The agents of the Officio Assassinorum are not mere killers. They are avatars of the Emperor's will, shaped by the darkest corners of human ingenuity and the most brutal training regimes imaginable. Each temple within the Assassinorum, from the merciless Vindicar to the insidious Calidus, embodies a specific doctrine of assassination, tailored to eliminate targets with precision that no ordinary warrior could match. The operatives are molded into living weapons, stripped of individuality and morality, existing only to serve the Imperium's unyielding demand for survival. Yet the secrecy of the Assassinorum is not just about protecting its operatives or its methods. It is about preserving the Imperium itself. In a galaxy rife with fear, ignorance, and superstition, the mere acknowledgement of such an organization could destabilize the fragile unity that binds the Imperium together. How does one reconcile the existence of an organization whose very purpose is to end lives, even those of the Emperor's most loyal servants, for the greater good? The answer lies in the paradox of the Imperium itself, a society that demands absolute faith, yet relies on unspeakable acts to maintain its dominion. This prologue sets the stage for a deeper exploration into the Officio Assassinorum's world, a world of shadowy players, dark motivations, and chilling efficiency. In the chapters that follow, we will unravel the mystery of why this organization is so secretive, delving into its history, key figures, pivotal events, and the haunting legacy it leaves in its wake. The Officio Assassinorum is not just an arm of the Imperium. It is a mirror reflecting its darkest truths. And like all mirrors, what it shows is as terrifying as it is revealing. The origins of the Officio Assassinorum are steeped in necessity and forged in the fires of a turbulent era. Its inception was not the result of a singular revelation, but rather a culmination of hard-learned lessons in a galaxy besieged by treachery, rebellion, and betrayal. In the early days of the Imperium, as humanity struggled to reforge itself into a unified power, the Emperor recognized the need for tools that could operate outside the rigid structures of conventional warfare. These tools would target the heart of threats, eliminating them with precision and finality, ensuring the continued survival of his burgeoning empire. In this chaotic period, humanity was reclaiming the stars after centuries of isolation and decay. The Emperor, a figure of immense vision and unparalleled power, sought to bring order to the scattered remnants of mankind. Yet, as his army swept across the galaxy, reuniting distant worlds under the banner of the Imperium, it became evident that brute force alone was insufficient to secure lasting peace. Some enemies could not be vanquished on the battlefield. There were those who thrived in the shadows, traitors, subversives, and manipulators, who posed as great a threat to the Imperium as any alien invader or chaotic force. These enemies required a response that was swift, silent, and decisive. Open confrontation was not always possible, and traditional military structures were ill-equipped to handle threats of this nature. The Emperor's solution was both pragmatic and chilling, an organization that would operate beyond the boundaries of conventional morality, tasked with eradicating threats to the Imperium before they could take root. It was here, in this crucible of necessity, that the foundations of the Officio Assassinorum were laid. Initially, these operatives were not part of a formalized institution. They were hand-picked individuals, chosen for their unique talents and willingness to operate in the darkest corners of human existence. These early agents were bound by a singular purpose: to act as the Emperor's unseen hand, striking down enemies who could not be challenged openly. Their missions were not celebrated with fanfare or public recognition. They were whispered of only in the hushed tones of those who understood their value and the terrible price of their work. As the Emperor's vision for humanity expanded, so too did the scope and organization of these covert operatives. The need for specialization became apparent, leading to the establishment of distinct doctrines and methods of assassination. Over time, this informal network evolved into a structured organization with dedicated training facilities, resources, and oversight. The Officio Assassinorum began to take shape, a shadowy arm of the Imperium that would operate independently, yet with absolute loyalty to its ultimate authority. The formalization of the Assassinorum was not without its challenges. Within the Imperium's vast bureaucracy, there were those who questioned the morality and necessity of such an organization. These voices, however, were drowned out by the undeniable effectiveness of the assassins. Their actions often saved countless lives, thwarting plots and rebellions that could have plunged entire sectors into chaos. The results spoke for themselves, silencing dissent and cementing the Assassinorum's role as an indispensable part of the Imperium's machinery. The early structure of the Officio Assassinorum was defined by its temples, each representing a unique approach to assassination. These temples, Vindicare, Calidus, Eversor, and Culexus, were established to address the diverse threats facing the Imperium. From the precise marksmanship of the Vindicare Temple to the shape-shifting infiltration of the Calidus, each temple embodied a specific philosophy of death. This specialization allowed the Assassinorum to adapt to the ever-changing nature of its enemies, ensuring that no threat was beyond its reach. Behind the scenes, the organization was governed by a shadowy council known as the Grand Masters. These individuals were tasked with overseeing the Assassinorum's operations, maintaining its secrecy, and ensuring that its agents remained loyal to the Imperium. The Grand Masters answered only to the highest echelons of the Imperium, including the High Lords of Terra, creating a chain of command that was as impenetrable as it was effective. The Officio Assassinorum's early years were marked by success, but also by growing pains. Operating in absolute secrecy required not only discipline, but also an understanding of the delicate balance between fear and trust. The Assassinorum's methods were brutal, often sparking whispers of unease among those who knew of its existence. Yet, this very secrecy became its greatest weapon, shielding the Imperium from the psychological toll of knowing what was required to safeguard its future. As the Imperium solidified its grip on the galaxy, the Officio Assassinorum continued to refine its methods and expand its reach. The organization became a symbol of the Emperor's unyielding resolve, a reminder that no enemy, no matter how powerful or hidden, was beyond his reach. It was an institution born out of necessity, shaped by the harsh realities of a galaxy at war, and forged into a weapon that could strike with precision and terror. Thus, the Officio Assassinorum began its long journey as a cornerstone of the Imperium's survival strategy. It was not merely an organization, but a statement of intent, that the Imperium would do whatever was necessary to endure, no matter the cost. This was the foundation upon which the Assassinorum was built, a foundation that would carry it through millennia of bloodshed, secrecy, and unwavering loyalty to a cause greater than any individual. The creation of the Officio Assassinorum was a calculated response to the many existential threats faced by the Imperium of Man during its formative years. While the Emperor's armies were vast and his will unbreakable, the challenges posed by humanity's enemies were complex and multifaceted, requiring solutions that transcended conventional military strategies. The galaxy, fractured and chaotic after the Age of Strife, was teeming with dangers both external and internal. The Imperium needed a means to address these threats with precision, ensuring its survival against forces that could not always be confronted in open warfare. One of the primary catalysts for the creation of the Assassinorum was the persistent threat of internal dissent. As the Emperor sought to unify humanity under a single banner, resistance was inevitable. This resistance came not only from alien species and rogue human civilizations, but also from within the ranks of humanity itself. Leaders who opposed unification, rebels who sought to preserve their independence, and heretics who rejected the Emperor's vision all posed significant obstacles. While the imperial armies could conquer worlds and crush armies, dealing with insidious enemies hidden among the populace required a different kind of warfare, one fought in the shadows, targeting individuals rather than armies. The political landscape of the early Imperium also contributed to the need for such an organization. As the Emperor's influence expanded, so too did the complexity of governing the newly unified territories. Corruption, power struggles, and betrayal became all too common as individuals and factions vied for influence within the nascent Imperium. To maintain order and prevent the destabilization of his empire, the Emperor needed a tool that could eliminate threats discreetly without causing widespread panic or unrest. The Officio Assassinorum was conceived as this tool, a scalpel to complement the hammer of his military forces. The psychological aspect of maintaining control also played a significant role. The Imperium thrived on fear and awe, presenting the Emperor as an infallible and omnipotent figure. The existence of an organization like the Assassinorum, operating in absolute secrecy, reinforced this narrative. It projected the idea that the Emperor's reach was limitless, that no enemy could hide from his judgment. This fear was a powerful deterrent, discouraging rebellion and dissent before it could take root. By ensuring that the Assassinorum's actions were shrouded in mystery, the Imperium created an aura of invincibility around its leader and its institutions. The technological and tactical advancements of the early Imperium further influenced the development of the Assassinorum. The rediscovery of ancient technologies and the refinement of bioengineering provided the means to create operatives capable of feats far beyond those of ordinary humans. From enhanced reflexes and strength to psychic nullification and genetic modification, these advancements allowed the Assassinorum to craft agents who were not merely assassins, but living weapons. These agents could infiltrate the most secure facilities, outmaneuver the most skilled adversaries, and eliminate the most protected targets, all without leaving a trace. The rise of specific threats also underscored the necessity of such an organization. Rogue psychers, for instance, posed a unique and unpredictable danger to the Imperium. While some psychers were invaluable assets, others were uncontrollable, their powers threatening to unleash devastation on a planetary scale. The Culexus Temple, specializing in the use of psychic nulls, was established to counter this exact threat, demonstrating the Assassinorum's ability to adapt to the Imperium's evolving needs. Another significant factor was the cultural and philosophical underpinnings of the Imperium itself. The Emperor's vision was one of unity and order, a stark contrast to the chaos and fragmentation that had plagued humanity for millennia. However, this vision required a ruthless approach to governance, one that could not shy away from difficult decisions. The Assassinorum embodied this ruthlessness, operating without hesitation or remorse to protect the greater good. Its agents were not bound by the moral constraints of ordinary soldiers. Their sole purpose was to ensure the survival of the Imperium, no matter the cost. The formation of the Officio Assassinorum also reflected the Emperor's understanding of the long-term challenges facing humanity. He recognized that the threats to the Imperium would not end with unification. They would evolve and persist, requiring constant vigilance. By establishing an organization dedicated to the elimination of high-value targets, the Emperor ensured that the Imperium would have a permanent safeguard against enemies, both known and unknown. This foresight was critical in securing the Imperium's future, providing a means to address crises that conventional forces could not. The creation of the Officio Assassinorum was thus both a practical and symbolic act. Practically, it addressed the immediate and long-term needs of the Imperium, providing a versatile and effective tool for dealing with threats that could not be confronted openly. Symbolically, it represented the harsh realities of the Emperor's vision, a willingness to embrace the darkness to protect the light. It was an acknowledgement that survival in the grim darkness of the galaxy required more than ideals. It required action, often of the most brutal and unflinching kind. Through the establishment of the Assassinorum, the Emperor demonstrated his unparalleled understanding of the complexities of power. He created an organization that was not only capable of eliminating threats, but also of shaping perceptions and reinforcing the Imperium's image as an unassailable force. This dual purpose, practical and psychological, was key to the Assassinorum's enduring role in the Imperium, ensuring its relevance and effectiveness across millennia of strife and change. The development of the Officio Assassinorum was a gradual and deliberate process, reflecting the evolving needs of the Imperium and the challenges it faced over millennia. What began as an experimental initiative during the Imperium's infancy transformed into one of the most secretive and efficient organizations in human history. Its evolution can be traced through key milestones, each marking a significant advancement in its structure, methodology, and scope. The earliest phase of the Assassinorum's development occurred during the unification of Terra. As the Emperor consolidated his rule over the birthplace of humanity, he encountered resistance from warlords, techno-barbarian kings, and rogue elements unwilling to submit to his vision. These adversaries often required elimination that could not be achieved through open warfare. Early operatives, selected from among the most skilled warriors and spies, were tasked with surgically removing these threats. These proto-assassins operated with minimal oversight, relying on their innate skills and ingenuity to carry out their missions. Though effective, this phase was marked by inconsistency and a lack of formalized doctrine. The true formalization of the Assassinorum began as the Emperor prepared for the Great Crusade. Recognizing the necessity of a more structured approach to covert operations, he authorized the establishment of specialized training facilities and the codification of assassination techniques. This was also the period when the first assassin temples were conceived. Each temple was dedicated to a specific philosophy of death, designed to address the diverse array of enemies the Imperium would encounter as it expanded its reach across the stars. This specialization allowed the Assassinorum to develop expertise in a variety of fields, from marksmanship and stealth to infiltration and psychological warfare. During the height of the Great Crusade, the Assassinorum grew in both capability and reputation. Its agents became legends among those who knew of their existence, their actions pivotal in ensuring the success of the Emperor's campaigns. They eliminated rogue planetary governors, silenced agitators who threatened compliance, and dismantled insurrections before they could gain momentum. Each successful mission reinforced the Assassinorum's value, cementing its place as an indispensable tool of the Imperium. However, this era also exposed the need for greater control and oversight, as the growing number of agents and missions risked compromising the organization's secrecy. The Horus Heresy marked a turning point in the development of the Assassinorum. The Galactic Civil War tested the organization to its limits, as loyalties were questioned and the line between friend and foe blurred. During this period, the Assassinorum played a critical but often unseen role, targeting traitors within the Imperium's ranks and striking at key figures in the rebellion. It was a time of great innovation and adaptation, as the Assassinorum was forced to confront enemies that were as cunning and resourceful as they were. The introduction of new weapons, tactics, and training methods during this era laid the groundwork for the Assassinorum's future capabilities. Following the heresy, the Assassinorum faced the daunting task of rebuilding and redefining its role in a fractured Imperium. The destruction wrought by the war had left the galaxy in turmoil, with countless factions vying for power and stability hanging by a thread. The Assassinorum shifted its focus from large-scale interventions to precision strikes, targeting those who threatened to exploit the Imperium's weakened state. It was during this period that the Assassinorum's temples were fully realized, each refining its methods and establishing its identity within the organization. The Vindicare Temple, for example, became synonymous with unerring precision, while the Eversor Temple embodied unrelenting aggression. The governance of the Assassinorum also underwent significant changes during this period. To ensure its continued secrecy and effectiveness, the organization was placed under the oversight of the High Lords of Terra. This formalized its place within the Imperium's power structure, creating a delicate balance between autonomy and accountability. The Grand Masters of the Assassinorum, acting as the leaders of the temples, were granted broad authority to manage their operations but remained answerable to the High Lords, ensuring that their actions aligned with the Imperium's greater objectives. In the millennia that followed, the Assassinorum continued to evolve, adapting to the ever-changing threats faced by the Imperium. The emergence of alien empires, heretical cults, and rogue psychers necessitated the development of new tactics and technologies. Each temple responded in its own way, refining its methods to address these challenges. The Calidus Temple, for instance, perfected the use of polymorphine to infiltrate and dismantle enemy organizations from within, while the Culexus Temple specialized in combating psychic threats, using pariah operatives to neutralize even the most powerful psychers. The modern era of the Assassinorum is marked by a high degree of specialization and integration within the Imperium's broader war effort. While the organization remains shrouded in secrecy, its influence is felt across every corner of the galaxy. Its agents operate independently or in support of larger military campaigns, targeting key figures and objectives to tip the balance in favor of the Imperium. Despite its continued reliance on traditional assassination techniques, the Assassinorum has also embraced new technologies, incorporating advancements in bioengineering, weaponry, and surveillance to maintain its edge. Throughout its history, the Assassinorum has remained true to its founding principles: absolute loyalty to the Imperium, unwavering dedication to secrecy, and the ruthless pursuit of its objectives. These principles have allowed it to endure and thrive in a galaxy defined by chaos and conflict. Each stage of its development has been shaped by the challenges of the time, forging an organization that is as adaptive as it is lethal. The Assassinorum's evolution is not just a story of survival, but a testament to the Imperium's relentless drive to secure its future, no matter the cost. Among the countless operations carried out by the Officio Assassinorum, one event stands as a defining moment in its long and shadowy history: the execution of the War of the Beasts. This pivotal conflict tested the organization's capabilities to their limits and demonstrated the profound impact its agents could have on the fate of the Imperium. It was not merely an operation, but a statement of purpose, a moment when the Assassinorum proved that even the most insurmountable threats could be dismantled through precision, strategy, and the willingness to act without hesitation. The War of the Beasts unfolded during one of the Imperium's darkest hours. The galaxy was shaken by an unprecedented orc invasion led by a warlord of unparalleled size, cunning, and ambition. The Xenos hordes, united under this monstrous leader, surged across the galaxy, overwhelming Imperial defenses and threatening to bring humanity to its knees. It was a time of unparalleled crisis, with the very survival of the Imperium hanging in the balance. While the Imperium's armies and fleets waged desperate battles against the Orc Tide, the High Lords of Terra recognized that conventional strategies alone would not suffice. The warlord at the heart of the invasion was the linchpin of the Orc forces. His death would not only sow chaos among the Xenos ranks, but potentially turn the tide of the entire conflict. Yet this warlord was no ordinary target. His immense physical power was matched by his strategic brilliance, and he was protected by a veritable fortress of warriors and defenses. The task of eliminating such a foe required an approach that transcended the capabilities of any military force. The High Lords turned to the Officio Assassinorum, tasking its agents with a mission of unprecedented difficulty and significance. The Grand Masters convened, deliberating over which temple would best be suited to this monumental task. Each temple brought unique strengths to the table, and the stakes demanded that no possibility be overlooked. In the end, it was decided that a multi-temple operation would be required, a rare and dangerous collaboration that would unite agents from the Vindicare, Calidus, and Eversor temples in a single coordinated strike. The operation began with meticulous planning and intelligence gathering. The Calidus Temple played a critical role, deploying one of their operatives to infiltrate the Orc hierarchy. Using their polymorphine-enhanced, shape-shifting abilities, the assassin assumed the guise of a prominent Orc underling, gaining access to the warlord's inner circle. This infiltration allowed the Assassinorum to map the warlord's movements, uncovering the precise location of his stronghold and the vulnerabilities in his security. Meanwhile, the Vindicare Temple prepared their most skilled marksmen for the mission. The assassin was equipped with a rare and highly advanced Exodus rifle, customized to deliver a single devastating shot capable of piercing even the warlord's formidable armor. The Vindicare operative's role was clear: to position themselves at the perfect vantage point and deliver the killing blow once the opportunity presented itself. The Eversor Temple's involvement added an additional layer of lethality to the plan. An Eversor operative, a berserk killing machine driven by combat stimulants and bio-enhancements, was deployed as a contingency measure. Their task was to create chaos within the warlord's fortress, drawing attention away from the Vindicar and ensuring that no interference would prevent the mission's success. The Eversor's presence was a gamble, a weapon of last resort unleashed only when no other options remained. The mission culminated in a breathtaking sequence of events. The Calidus operative's infiltration created the perfect conditions for the Vindicare assassin to take their shot. As the warlord emerged onto a balcony to address his horde, the Vindicare pulled the trigger, sending a single, perfectly placed round through the target's skull. The death of the warlord sent shockwaves through the Orc ranks, triggering infighting and chaos as rival leaders vied for control. However, the mission did not end with the warlord's death. The Eversor operative, already deep within the fortress, unleashed a storm of destruction, ensuring that no one within the stronghold could regroup or mount a counteroffensive. The Orc forces, now leaderless and fractured, were routed by the Imperium's armies in the battles that followed. The war that had threatened to annihilate humanity was brought to a decisive and victorious conclusion. This operation was not without its costs. The Calidus and Eversor operatives did not survive, their sacrifices ensuring the mission's success. The Vindicar assassin, though successful, was forever changed by the experience, burdened by the knowledge of the immense weight their actions carried. Yet the operation was a triumph, a testament to the Assassinorum's ability to achieve what no other force in the Imperium could. The War of the Beasts highlighted the unique role of the Officio Assassinorum within the Imperium. It demonstrated not only their unparalleled skill and adaptability, but also the willingness of the Imperium's leaders to employ such extreme measures when survival was on the line. The operation cemented the Assassinorum's reputation as an organization capable of altering the course of history through sheer precision and determination. In the aftermath, the Assassinorum's success was celebrated in whispers, its deeds hidden from the wider Imperium. The warlord's death became a legend, a reminder of the Imperium's unyielding resolve and the invisible hand that strikes from the shadows to safeguard humanity. For the Assassinorum, it was a defining moment, a testament to the power of secrecy, skill, and sacrifice in the eternal struggle to preserve the Imperium. The Officio Assassinorum wields an influence over the Imperium that is as profound as it is veiled. Its existence is a paradox, both a cornerstone of the Imperium's survival and a shadowy institution hidden from the majority of its citizens. The impact of the Assassinorum extends far beyond the individual lives it extinguishes, touching the very fabric of the Imperium's governance, military strategies, and psychological control over its vast population. It is an institution that shapes the Imperium in ways both direct and indirect, with consequences that ripple across the galaxy. One of the most immediate and tangible effects of the Assassinorum is its role in maintaining the Imperium's internal stability. The Imperium is an empire of unimaginable scale, comprising countless worlds, each with its own complexities and challenges. Governing such a vast domain requires more than military might or bureaucratic control. It demands the ability to neutralize threats that arise from within. The Assassinorum serves as a scalpel, excising corrupt officials, rogue leaders, and heretical agitators before their actions can spiral into full-blown crises. By eliminating these figures quietly and efficiently, the Assassinorum preserves the appearance of order, preventing uprisings or rebellions that could destabilize entire sectors. On a larger scale, the Assassinorum acts as a deterrent, its reputation alone enough to dissuade many from challenging the Imperium's authority. Among the Imperium's ruling class, the knowledge that a single misstep could result in a visit from one of the Assassinorum's agents instills a fear that often serves as a more effective control mechanism than any decree or threat of military reprisal. This fear extends even to those who might never encounter the Assassinorum directly. The whispers of their existence, the legends of assassins striking without warning, create a sense of omnipresent oversight that reinforces the Imperium's grip on its populace. The Assassinorum's actions also have a profound impact on the Imperium's enemies. For Xenos empires, heretical cults, and rival factions, the knowledge that the Imperium possesses an organization capable of targeting their leaders and key figures creates an additional layer of complexity in their strategies. Even the most powerful warlords and strategists are forced to account for the possibility of assassination, altering their movements, fortifying their defenses, and expending resources to counter a threat they may never fully understand. This psychological burden often disrupts the cohesion of the Imperium's enemies, creating opportunities for the Imperium to exploit. The cultural and psychological effects of the Assassinorum on the Imperium are equally significant. The organization embodies the ruthless pragmatism at the heart of the Imperium's survival strategy. It is a reminder that the Imperium is willing to embrace the darkest measures to ensure its continued existence. This acknowledgement of moral compromise is both a strength and a vulnerability. On the one hand, it reinforces the Imperium's image as an unyielding force, capable of making hard decisions for the greater good. On the other hand, it raises uncomfortable questions about the cost of survival and the toll such actions take on the Imperium's soul. The influence of the Assassinorum extends even to the Imperium's military strategies. By targeting key figures within enemy forces, the Assassinorum disrupts command structures and sows chaos on the battlefield. This precision complements the Imperium's broader military campaigns, allowing its armies to operate with greater efficiency and effectiveness. For example, the assassination of a rebellious planetary governor might prevent an entire system from descending into war, saving countless lives and resources. Similarly, the elimination of a Xenos leader can weaken an alien empire, turning the tide of a conflict in the Imperium's favor. Yet, the Assassinorum's impact is not without its challenges. The organization's secrecy, while a source of its strength, also creates an aura of suspicion and fear among those who know of its existence. Even within the highest echelons of the Imperium, the Assassinorum is viewed with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The High Lords of Terra, who oversee the Assassinorum's operations, must carefully balance their reliance on the organization with the potential risks it poses. A rogue assassin or a miscalculated mission could have catastrophic consequences, undermining the very stability the Assassinorum seeks to protect. The Assassinorum also exerts a significant influence on the moral and ethical framework of the Imperium. Its existence forces those in power to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of governance and survival in the galaxy. The use of assassination as a tool of statecraft raises questions about the line between necessity and tyranny, and whether the ends truly justify the means. For the agents themselves, the psychological toll of their work is immense. Stripped of individuality and trained to view their targets as obstacles rather than people, they embody the sacrifices the Imperium demands of its servants. On a more abstract level, the Assassinorum represents the Imperium's ultimate embrace of fear as a weapon. Fear of the Xenos, fear of heresy, and fear of rebellion are all central to the Imperium's identity, and the Assassinorum is a manifestation of this philosophy. Its agents are not just killers. They are symbols of the Imperium's resolve, reminders that no act is too extreme, no method too ruthless in the defense of humanity. This ideology permeates every aspect of the Imperium, shaping its policies, culture, and worldview. The broader galactic impact of the Assassinorum cannot be overlooked. Its operations often leave ripples that extend far beyond their immediate objectives. The assassination of a single leader can destabilize entire regions, leading to power struggles, alliances, and conflicts that reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. These unintended consequences, while often beneficial to the Imperium, also create new challenges, as the vacuum left by a targeted strike can give rise to unforeseen threats. Ultimately, the Officio Assassinorum's influence on the Imperium and the galaxy is a reflection of the Imperium's own nature, an institution built on paradoxes, compromises, and the relentless pursuit of survival. It is both a shield and a blade, a protector and a predator, a force that embodies the darkest truths of the Imperium, while ensuring its light endures in a galaxy consumed by darkness. The Officio Assassinorum is not defined solely by its shadowy methods or advanced weaponry, but also by the individuals who have shaped its legacy. From its enigmatic leadership to the operatives who carry out its deadly missions, the organization is a tapestry woven with the actions and sacrifices of extraordinary individuals. These figures, both celebrated and infamous, embody the Assassinorum's ethos and illuminate its impact on the Imperium. At the apex of the Assassinorum's hierarchy are the Grand Masters, each presiding over one of the organization's 4 principal temples: Vindicare, Calidus, Eversor, and Culexus. These shadowy leaders are rarely seen and almost never heard of outside the confines of their secretive domains. Their identities are among the best-kept secrets in the Imperium, known only to the High Lords of Terra and a select few within the Assassinorum. The Grand Masters are responsible for overseeing the training of their operatives, approving high-priority missions, and ensuring the temples remain true to their specialized doctrines. Each Grand Master's unique vision shapes the strategies and methodologies of their temple, creating a diverse yet cohesive force. The Vindicar Temple, renowned for its unmatched marksmanship and patience, has produced legendary snipers whose deeds have shaped history. One such figure is Cades Nex, a name spoken in whispers among those familiar with the Assassinorum's exploits. Nex earned his reputation during the siege of Vervenhive, where his unerring aim and ability to eliminate high-value targets turned the tide of battle. Nex epitomized the Vindicaire ideal, silent, precise, and utterly relentless in the pursuit of his mission. His exploits became a symbol of the temple's effectiveness, inspiring subsequent generations of assassins. The Calidus Temple, specializing in infiltration and deception, boasts operatives who have reshaped the fate of entire star systems through cunning and subterfuge. Among these operatives, the figure known as Mishen stands out. Mishen's most infamous mission involved the assassination of the traitorous Conrad Kurz, the Night Haunter. Disguising herself and infiltrating his domain on the world of Tsagualsa, she struck with a blade of unparalleled precision. While the act itself was fraught with risk and moral ambiguity, it underscored the Calidus Temple's unparalleled ability to adapt to and overcome even the most challenging assignments. The Eversor Temple, a harbinger of chaos and destruction, has produced operatives whose presence on a battlefield can turn the tide of war. One notable figure from this temple was known only by the designation Arinax. Arinax was deployed during the suppression of the Shirak Uprising, where his berserk fury tore through the rebel forces. What made Arinax particularly memorable was his ability to retain a modicum of control even under the influence of the temple's combat stimulants, an anomaly among Eversor operatives. His actions demonstrated the terrifying potential of unleashing an Eversor assassin in a tightly controlled operation. The Calexis Temple, shrouded in mystery due to its reliance on psychic nulls, has operatives whose very presence induces dread. One such assassin, known by the codename Umbra, became a legend for her role in neutralizing rogue psychers who threatened entire planetary populations. Devoid of a soul and existing outside the warp's influence, Umbra was the perfect weapon against psychic threats. Her missions were often as much about psychological warfare as physical elimination, as her mere existence struck fear into those who depended on the warp for power. Beyond the operatives themselves, the High Lords of Terra play a crucial role in the Assassinorum's operations. While they do not direct its day-to-day activities, their authority is required for the approval of the most significant and far-reaching missions. The relationship between the Assassinorum and the High Lords is a delicate balance, rooted in mutual necessity, but tempered by the ever-present risk of overreach or misuse. The High Lords understand the danger of unleashing assassins without restraint, knowing that such actions could destabilize the Imperium as much as they protect it. Other key figures include the trainers and handlers who shape assassins from potential recruits into living weapons. These individuals are often former operatives themselves, veterans who have survived decades of service and bring unparalleled experience to their roles. Their task is as much psychological as it is physical, instilling the discipline and mindset necessary for operatives to succeed in their missions. Their anonymity is their armor, as their work remains unsung even within the Assassinorum's secretive corridors. Even among the wider Imperium, certain individuals have had indirect but profound interactions with the Assassinorum. Inquisitors of the Ordos Xenos, Hereticus, and Malleus often collaborate with assassins to eliminate threats that fall beyond the scope of their own resources. These partnerships are built on a shared understanding of necessity, though not always on trust. Inquisitors recognize the value of the Assassinorum's expertise, but are wary of their autonomy, knowing that assassins answer to their own masters and follow agendas that may not always align with those of the Inquisition. Finally, there are the targets themselves, figures whose elimination shaped the galaxy in profound ways. From Xenos leaders to rogue planetary governors, the victims of the Assassinorum's operations are often key players in their own right. The removal of these individuals has far-reaching consequences, influencing wars, altering political landscapes, and even reshaping the Imperium's internal dynamics. Each successful assassination leaves a mark on history, a testament to the Assassinorum's ability to wield death as a tool for the Imperium's survival. Through these figures, the Officio Assassinorum's shadowy legacy comes into sharper focus. It is an organization defined not only by its methods and purpose, but by the extraordinary individuals who bring its missions to fruition. Their actions, sacrifices, and decisions continue to shape the Imperium, ensuring its endurance in a galaxy that demands constant vigilance and ruthless efficiency. The Officio Assassinorum thrives in secrecy, its operations shrouded in layers of mystery that serve both practical and psychological purposes. Its very existence is one of the Imperium's most closely guarded truths, hidden from the majority of its citizens, and even from many within the Adeptus Terra. Yet, despite its clandestine nature, whispers of the Assassinorum's enigmatic practices and concealed truths occasionally surface, fueling speculation and fear. The secrets of this organization are not merely tools of deception. They are the lifeblood of its operations, protecting its agents, methods, and ultimate purpose. One of the most guarded aspects of the Assassinorum is the true nature of its selection and training processes. Potential operatives are plucked from the masses at an early age, often based on genetic markers, innate abilities, or in some cases, pure chance. What follows is a transformation so extreme that it erases nearly all traces of their former selves. Rumors persist of hidden facilities where these recruits undergo grueling trials, enduring physical and psychological torment designed to break their humanity and rebuild them into instruments of death. These training grounds are said to be scattered across the galaxy, hidden within dead worlds, asteroid fields, or beneath the surface of unsuspecting planets, their locations known only to the Assassinorum's highest authorities. The temples themselves are shrouded in as much secrecy as their operatives. Each temple is not just a school of assassination, but a fortress of hidden knowledge, containing ancient texts, forbidden technologies, and experimental techniques that push the boundaries of what is possible. The Vindicare Temple, for instance, is rumored to possess devices capable of calculating trajectories across solar systems, allowing their assassins to perform kills from unfathomable distances. The Calidus Temple, meanwhile, guards the secret of polymorphine, a substance so advanced that its origins are speculated to predate even the Imperium itself. The formula and manufacturing process are mysteries, known only to a select few within the temple, and its misuse is punishable by death. The Eversor Temple, however, harbors some of the most chilling secrets of all. Its assassins are engineered to be living weapons, their bodies saturated with chemical stimulants and bioenhancements that push them beyond human limits. These operatives are rumored to have an internal kill switch, a device implanted within their bodies that can be remotely activated to destroy them if they are at risk of capture or failure. The exact mechanisms of this technology are a mystery, but its existence underscores the Assassinorum's obsession with secrecy, even at the cost of its own agents. Perhaps the most enigmatic of all is the Calexis Temple, whose operatives are psychically null. Known as pariahs, these individuals are born with the rare and unsettling ability to disrupt the warp and repel psychers. Their origins are a tightly held secret, though it is widely speculated that they are connected to the mysterious and shadowy organization known as the Necron-Tyre and their ancient technologies. The Assassinorum's ability to locate and recruit these pariahs is itself a mystery, one that raises uncomfortable questions about the depth of its intelligence network and its ties to forbidden knowledge. The Assassinorum's methods of intelligence gathering are another source of speculation and unease. Its agents are believed to have access to information that even the Inquisition struggles to obtain, leading some to question the extent of its surveillance capabilities. There are tales of shadowy informants embedded in every layer of imperial society, from hive gangs to the halls of the Sentinel Imperialis. These informants may not even know they are serving the Assassinorum, manipulated through layers of intermediaries and coded messages. It is said that the Assassinorum can extract confessions or secrets from even the most unwilling subjects, using techniques that leave no physical trace but unravel the mind entirely. The control and oversight of the Assassinorum itself are veiled in ambiguity. While it is nominally under the authority of the High Lords of Terra, there are rumors of a hidden council within the organization, known only as the Veiled Masters. This council is said to operate independently, guiding the Assassinorum's actions according to an agenda known only to them. Whether these Veiled Masters exist is a question even the High Lords may not be able to answer, and their potential influence over the Imperium raises unsettling implications. Another enduring mystery is the Assassinorum's archive of historical missions. This repository is believed to contain records of every assassination carried out in the name of the Imperium, detailing the targets, methods, and outcomes of each operation. These files are kept in a location known only as the Vault of Shadows, accessible only to the Grand Masters. It is said that the archive includes not only missions completed, but also plans for future assassinations, targets identified decades or even centuries in advance, awaiting the right moment to be executed. The existence of such a repository raises questions about the extent to which the Assassinorum shapes the Imperium's future, operating not merely as a reactive force, but as an architect of its destiny. Perhaps the most unsettling secret of the Assassinorum is the question of its autonomy. While officially serving the Imperium, there are those who whisper that the Assassinorum's ultimate allegiance lies not with the High Lords or the Adeptus Terra, but with its own survival and purpose. Some speculate that the organization has carried out assassinations without authorization, eliminating individuals it deems a threat to the Imperium, even if those individuals hold positions of power within it. This possibility casts a shadow over the Assassinorum's actions, suggesting that its loyalty to the Imperium is not unconditional, but guided by its own interpretation of what serves humanity's best interests. The Officio Assassinorum's secrets are not merely a reflection of its nature, but a necessity for its survival. Its methods, technologies, and purpose demand absolute discretion, for exposure would not only compromise its operations, but also shake the foundations of the Imperium itself. In a galaxy defined by fear and ignorance, the Assassinorum's greatest weapon is the uncertainty it cultivates, ensuring that its enemies, and even its allies, can never fully understand the extent of its reach or the depths of its ambition. The Officio Assassinorum stands as one of the Imperium's most enigmatic and essential institutions, embodying the stark, often brutal choices that humanity has been forced to make to endure in a galaxy defined by chaos and conflict. Its legacy is one of shadows and silence, where victories are uncelebrated and sacrifices are unacknowledged. Yet, it is precisely this obscurity that defines its strength and purpose. The assassins are neither heroes nor villains in the traditional sense. They are tools, honed to perfection, wielded in service to a cause greater than themselves. As the galaxy plunges deeper into an era of perpetual war, the role of the Assassinorum remains critical. The threats facing the Imperium have grown ever more insidious. Heretical cults worm their way into the hearts of imperial worlds, alien empires expand their reach, and the forces of chaos continue to corrupt from within. In this unrelenting darkness, the Officio Assassinorum is a scalpel wielded with precision and ruthlessness, cutting away the rot before it can spread. Its operatives act not as saviors, but as enforcers of the Imperium's harsh reality, survival at any cost. The enduring impact of the Assassinorum is felt not in monuments or parades, but in the fragile stability of the Imperium itself. Its agents eliminate threats that most would never see coming, removing obstacles that might have unraveled the vast machinery of humanity's empire. Each mission is a quiet reminder that the Imperium's survival is not guaranteed by faith alone, but by the calculated actions of those willing to make unimaginable sacrifices. The assassins, stripped of identity and consumed by their duty, are the unsung architects of this grim endurance. However, the Assassinorum's existence raises profound questions about the Imperium's soul. It operates in the moral gray, where loyalty demands acts that many would consider abhorrent. The organization's willingness to wield such absolute power, to decide who lives and who dies, mirrors the darkest truths of the Imperium itself. In protecting humanity, it often embodies the very cruelty and oppression it seeks to destroy. This paradox is a central part of its legacy, a shadow that looms over every action it takes. As time stretches forward, the Officio Assassinorum will undoubtedly continue its grim work. Its operatives, unknown and unremembered, will remain in the background, shaping the Imperium in ways most will never perceive. They will strike at Xenos overlords, silence heretics, and ensure that rebellion dies before it can ignite. For as long as the Imperium endures, so too will the Assassinorum, its agents working tirelessly in the darkness to protect a future they will never see. In the end, the story of the Officio Assassinorum is not one of glory or triumph, but of necessity. It is a story of an empire that survives because of its willingness to do what must be done, no matter the cost. The assassins are the embodiment of that resolve, a quiet, deadly force ensuring that humanity continues to stand in a galaxy that seeks to crush it. Their work is not for honor or fame, but for the Imperium's grim, eternal struggle to endure. And so, they vanish into the shadows, their deeds unsung, their sacrifices unknown, leaving behind only the faintest whispers of their existence. Yet their impact resonates through every victory, every battle, and every fragile moment of peace that the Imperium clings to in its fight against oblivion.